Thank you for joining the session. We will be starting in less than a minute. All right. Hello members and thank you so much for joining today's live session. मैं हूं कविता अग्रवाल एंड आज के सेशन में हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं पास्ट के दो ऐसे ट्रेड्स जहां से सीखने के लिए बहुत कुछ है। क्यों हम एक सेशन डेडिकेट कर रहे हैं हर हफ्ते सिर्फ पास्ट ट्रेड्स को एनालाइज करने के लिए? बिकॉज स्टॉक मार्केट में सक्सेसफुल होने के लिए इनिशियल नॉलेज के बियॉन्ड आपको इंट्रोस्पेक्शन करना बहुत जरूरी है। पास्ट ट्रेड्स को कॉन्स्टेंटली एनालाइज करने से आपको समझ में आता है आपके ट्रेडिंग पैटर्न्स में क्या सही है और आपके ट्रेडिंग पैटर्न्स में क्या गलत है। मैं हर सेशन में कहती हूँ कि हर वो ट्रेड जिसमें आपको प्रॉफिट हुआ जरूरी नहीं कि वो सही ट्रेड था, और वो हर ट्रेड जिसमें लॉस हुआ जरूरी नहीं कि वो गलत ट्रेड था। ये डिस्टिंक्शन बहुत जरूरी है। इट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन सक्सेस एंड फेलियर। तो चलिए ज्यादा डिले नहीं करते हैं, सीधा सेशन के साथ बढ़ते हैं। स्ट्रक्चर कुछ इस तरह होगा इस सेशन का। फर्स्ट पार्ट में आई विल शो यू द शीट विच आई मेंटेन ऑफ ऑल द एक्टिव कॉल्स और एक्टिव ट्रेड सेटअप्स विच आई कम अप विद बेस्ड ऑन एनालिसिस। अगर आप पूछेंगे एनालिसिस कैसे किया, तो उसके लिए हर हफ्ते मंडे या ट्यूसडे को रिटेल ट्रेडर्स सीरीज बोल के एक डेडिकेटेड सेशन करते हैं हम, जिसमें टेक्निकल एनालिसिस एंड ये ट्रेड सेटअप पिकअप करने के सारे रहस्य, सारे राज, सब कुछ ओपनली शेयर करती हूँ मैं उसमें। सो आज का जो सेशन है, दिस इज अ प्रॉपर टेक्निकल एनालिसिस सेशन एंड हम चार्ट्स पे जाकर देखेंगे कि क्या हुआ ऐसा इन ट्रेड्स में which triggered us, which enabled us to firstly participate in this, how did we perform, and then how could we have done it better. ओके, सो सबसे पहले चलिए शीट की तरफ बढ़ते हैं जहां पे सारे ट्रेड सेटअप्स हैं एंड आई वांट टू शो यू मैं अपना ट्रेड डेटा ट्रैक कैसे करती हूँ। ओके, sorry, give me a moment to fix this a little bit. ओके, ऑलराइट, सो देयर यू गो। सो अब जो मेरे स्क्रीन पे आप देख रहे हैं, दिस इज कॉल्ड द एक्टिव कॉल्स डेटाबेस, जो बेसिकली मेरे सब्सक्राइबर्स भी देख पाते हैं। नाउ what you are seeing in this are all the stock ideas which have been closed, right? And as you can see in this sheet itself, ये जितने green दिखा रहे हैं, all of these stock ideas have achieved their targets, but if you see the profit percentage is much less. ये हमें क्या बता रहा है कि the stock picks have been pretty good, but the stock exit has been more premature than we would like it to be. तो आज हम दो ऐसे ट्रेड्स इस लिस्ट में से पिकअप करेंगे जिसमें हमने एंट्री तो बहुत अच्छी की थी बट एग्जिट प्रीमेच्योर हुआ था, एंड वी विल सी व्हाई डिड दैट एग्जिट हैपन. However, if you're curious about the overall performance of all these stock recommendations, then you can take a screenshot of this on the screen and then read it in your own time. तो आउट ऑफ दैट लिस्ट आई हैव सिलेक्टेड टू स्टॉक्स फॉर यू. एक का नाम है ऑरो फार्मा और एक का नाम है रिलैक्सो. तो बिना डिले किए चलिए बढ़ते हैं चार्ट्स की तरफ और देखते हैं कि क्या था इन चार्ट्स में जिसकी वजह से स्ट्रेट सेटअप को पहले हमने चूज किया, फिर क्यों एग्जिट किया और टारगेट आने में कितना टाइम लगा, कितने का टारगेट था, एंड ऑल ऑफ दोज डिटेल्स. Okay. Looks like someone thinks the network is down. At my end, I can see everything pretty clearly. So if you cannot, please do let me know that you cannot see the screen. If someone else is having issues, if not, then हो सकता है कि the audience member might be experiencing internet issues at their end. Okay. Sweet. Now, on this chart of Relaxo, as you can see, we've taken not one but multiple swing trades. And Relaxo का अगर आप broad trend देखेंगे तो November 21 से it has been in a downtrend. This does not mean the stock is bad. It is a very good company. It's a very good stock. But because उसने already इतनी बड़ी rally दी थी in the period between 2016 to 2021, it's very natural कि after a 6x rally the stock is taking around 50% retracement or correction, right? But even within this correction, there were opportunities to make money via swing trading. And on the 25th of July 22 is when we entered into the first swing trade, and yahan pe we made around 14%. So let's take a look at what was the motivation behind this initial trade. यहाँ पर आप देखेंगे there is this green channel which is the support zone. If you attended the session yesterday where I discussed support resistance zones, I told you it is beneficial to mark these horizontal support zones on the chart in advance because they help us make better trading decisions, and these zones that you draw are visible across different time frames. For instance, मैं अब जैसे आपको 15 मिनट या 75 मिनट का टाइम फ्रेम अगर दिखाऊंगी तो आप देख सकते हो ये ग्रीन जोन्स यहाँ पे क्लियरली विजिबल हो रहे हैं. नाउ जब प्राइस इस ग्रीन जोन के पास आया यानी इस सपोर्ट जोन के पास आया तो आप आरएसआई पे देख सकते हो देयर वाज अ पॉजिटिव डाइवर्जेंस हियर. नाउ Mr. Desai is saying कि it breaks support badly. Mr. Desai, no. This tiny little poking into the support level that you're seeing is not considered as breaking the support badly. We are not talking about this one here, that is a badly broken support, but before our positive divergence on RSI happened right here, this tiny little poking that you see is firstly not associated with bad volumes. For a support to be considered breach, we need that breach to happen with high volumes, right? So यहाँ पे the fact that the price approached the support but did not breach it significantly with volumes or did not breach it with significant volume was an indication that the support was acting as a significant one, right? So first evidence that there is a support and it is holding. Second evidence that there is a RSI positive divergence. This RSI positive divergence that I'm talking about did not occur only on the 75-minute time frame. In fact, if you go over to the daily time frame also, right here also you can see that a slight RSI positive divergence and RSI range shift had occurred. So by now we have three positive evidences in this stock. Okay, so moving on to the moving one time frame lower to the 15-minute time frame, again what we can see is when the stock came here and started respecting the support level, that is it stopped making new lows and it kind of started retesting the high over here, we started getting an indication that something might be brewing in here. So what did we do? We set up an alert on the 15-minute time frame for the RSI to touch down on 30. Now remember that the stock's underlying trend was still bearish. So it, even if the stock was readying itself for a potential upside move, it would come back on the level of 30 on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, now of course this is not a rule, this is more of an observation. So when this alert of RSI coming on 30 on the 15-minute time frame was triggered, then I went ahead and gave a stock idea to the members of my swing trading subscription plan, and that is marked by this pin mark on the chart. Okay, so as soon as we got into the position, the stock went up again, took resistance at this high, and then started to fall back down. It retested this support level again, which was an opportunity for us to either add to position or participate in the stock if the initial participation had been missed, right? So this was a second opportunity. When the second opportunity came, what something very interesting happened on the 15-minute time frame. It is called the phenomena of positive range shift. What I mean is that the last time price came down to support test the 964 level, you can see that RSI very nicely touched the level of 30, even breached it a little bit, right? But the next time when the price approached it, firstly, price did not hover around the support for a long time. Secondly, you see that RSI here gave positive divergence and RSI itself remained above the level of 40, indicating there was a positive range shift. Okay, so RSI taking a support at the level of 40 versus the level of 30 for the same price level is an indication of a positive range. Okay, if you're interested in the concept of range shift more, I would suggest you go back to the archive videos and take a look at the video that I did on detailed session that I did on the RSI range shift phenomena. Now, here we observe the range shift. So our conviction increased that the stock was going for a breakout. Here you can see again near the same resistance zone. So let me shift this zone again. So below this resistance zone, you can see that the stock went into sideways consolidation until it finally broke out. And if you can see here, this breakout that finally happened at very high volumes. But then another thing is that the volume indicates that the breakout is sustainable, sure. But it is not a very good idea to take trades on the basis of volume, because even volume is a bit of a delayed indicator. Here the volume was giving us an indication of a breakout because the volume had pretty much dried up during consolidation, right? And then finally when the upside breakout happened, volume picked up significantly. Now only when the price had reached above the level of 1025, that was the first resistance, did we go ahead and revise our stop loss. Now remember that in the stock market, if you want to be successful, just buying a stock is not enough. You have to manage your positions properly to be successful. See, if you buy a good stock at the bad time, you will not make money. If you buy a good stock at the right time but don't sell it, you will not make money. If you buy the right stock at the right time and the stock goes up significantly, you wait for more rally to happen, the stock does not rally, falls more, and then you sell, you will not make money, right? Or if the stock goes up but you sell it too soon, you will not make enough money. So it is not about buying a stock or the right stock. It is about buying the stock at the right time and managing the position properly. So in my subscription services, I don't just give people the trade setup like I have shown you. In fact, I also help them with managing the position, and I monitor the position, the stocks actively, so that I can tell you where to revise and when to revise your stop loss. And level of 1025 happened in this position. What we did, we revised the stop loss to the next best support level, which is basically the base of this consolidation. So now the stop loss level has been revised to the level of a little just below this, just below the low, which is around 997. Now as you can see, the stock, as we already discussed, is in a prolonged downtrend, so the target was very conservative. Right above this support zone, the very next resistance zone, the upper bound of the resistance zone, served as a target, which was somewhere around the level of 1008. And soon after this breakout happened, the stock went ahead and achieved the target. Ultimately, it delivered around 13% profit in a matter of 54 days, and that is less than 2 months, while the stock was in a downtrend, right? Another buying opportunity was indicated in a similar manner in the same stock on um, the indication came on the 14th of March, but because the stock was in a very steep downtrend, I chose to participate in the stock when the next dip happened. So we purposely missed the first leg of the upside, and when the stock came back down after showing positive divergence on the 75-minute time frame and showing positive divergence on the daily time frame, and then on the 15-minute time frame again we could see a positive range shift. Okay, let me emphasize the range shift for you here. You can see this zone where RSI has clearly breached the level. The price is hanging out here. Now you can clearly see the price has created a lower low, but if you look at RSI, the RSI has already started respecting the level of 30 like magic. So this is the phenomena of range shift for you. Okay, so what is happening here is, so now even though the range shift happened because the preceding trend was so strong, I played it a little bit safer and initiated the recommendation in this stock a little bit later. When was that? When the first dip happened. So as you can see, the stock came down to take a dip and it took support at this moving average. Now this moving average is a 200 EMA of the 75-minute time frame. It's very important to remember that stocks, once they have broken above the 200 EMA on the 75-minute time frame, especially after a drawn out correction, they will come back to retest that moving average. It's wrong to say they will, because there is nothing ruling anything in the stock market, but there is a high probability that it will come back down to retest the 200 EMA on the 75-minute time frame. So that is the reason, this is where we gave the active stock idea, especially when the stock started indicating that it is ready to move up. How did it indicate? Look at the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, the stock, the RSI came back down to retest the level of 30 and then started to go up. Once it had touched the level of 60, that was our cue that it's a good time to enter. So we gave the stock idea here where you can see the white pin, and then set the stop loss where we had identified as the recent low. So this stock idea, as when it was initiated, gave a very good risk to reward ratio. Why? Because the risk here was only 1.5%, whereas the target in the stock idea was this green line that you can see right at the top. So with a 1.5% risk, the target was 18%. So that's a very good risk reward ratio and a must take kind of a trade setup. And this high probability, so participating with high probability and high risk reward trade setups is what is going to keep you consistently successful in the stock market. Naturally, for a retail trader, doing so much analysis, monitoring a stock so much, entering and exiting at the exact time is very difficult, and that is why I run a free Telegram channel to help people out. If you are interested in becoming a part of my Telegram channel, my community, you are welcome to join. All you have to do is go to your Telegram and type EXP-Invest in. When you do, you will automatically be redirected to this channel. For those who might be interested in joining my community, I am sharing the Telegram link for you in the comment. Feel free to click and join it. So we have a question from Vishal, and he's saying Relaxo. Okay, guide for long term. I'll give you the guide in a bit, as soon as my Relaxo discussion is done. So we initiated the position with a very attractive risk to reward ratio here and started to trail our stop losses every time resistances were breached. So the first resistance was 500, 853 for the obvious reasons that there was the previous peak, and this peak did act as a resistance on 4 instances when the price tried to go up, until finally we witnessed a breakout with strong volumes on the chart. This was our cue to revise our stop loss to the previous support, which was this level at 835, right? So again, our risk to reward ratio became very attractive, because even when the price was, price had broken out here, there was a point of time when the price came very close, like within 1% range of the stop loss, but did not trigger it, right? And the target at that point of time remained 11. So even when these points happen where the risk to reward ratio becomes very attractive for stock ideas, I give a reminder to my members that those who had missed the position can either enter the stock at this point of time, or those who had entered the position can add more to their existing holding, because the risk to reward ratios become very attractive. Okay, so now we continue to hold on to the position and then waited for the stock to basically breach the next resistance level with high volumes, which is this resistance. Now, as you can see, this resistance level was breached, but the volume was not very high. Now, that was an indication that we should revise our stop loss, but not be very aggressive in that, right? So, what we did was we revised the stop loss up to here, okay, around 870. That was the, again, the previous low, but not the extreme immediate support, right? We went one step further. So, we revised the stop loss up by a few points. All right, and then again we see another upside breakout happened, which took the support, which took the price above the resistance level. But what I noticed was there was a slight negative divergence developing on the 15-minute time frame, which again indicated that a small dip might come in the stock. If you are not careful about this, what will happen is the stop loss will get triggered too fast, right? So you can see that dip did happen here, and this is a typical stop loss hunting kind of a move in the market, where there is a sharp move upside followed by recovery and then a breakout to the upside. And if we had been aggressive and if we had already changed our stop loss, our position would have been exited here at 890, which would lead to us missing the next 8% of the profit, even though we would have been able to capture around 10% profit on the position, right? So even though the stock has been in a downtrend, and the stock is still in a downtrend, because we can still not see a proper higher high and higher low. The stock is still in the formation of lower high and lower low. For the stock to be established in a uptrend, in my eyes, it will need to surpass the level of 1105, right? So even though the stock is on a downtrend, in a bearish momentum, as you can see, with the help of swing trading and sound analysis, we have managed to gain 14% on one instance and then around 18% on the other instance, uh, delivering nearly 32% profits in by holding the stock for less than 100 days in both the uh, swing trade opportunities, right? Now coming to the question that Vishali has, she's asking Relaxo long-term analysis. She has bought it at the level of 1021. So Vaishali, to me, it doesn't look like that Relaxo is just yet ready for a very sustained upside move. Like I said, the stock is still in a downtrend, and in the near term, I feel the stock is now turning bearish, because negative divergences and negative range shift has started propping up in the 75 and the 15-minute time frame respectively. So I would recommend you to exit your position right now and book your loss for the time being. There are much better opportunities available in the stock market which can help you regain your capital. If you are interested in knowing about them, feel free to join my Telegram channel and I can help you out with some profitable trade setups. Okay. Now let's move on to the next stock which I have identified for you. It is called Auropharma. Now, as you know, pharma stocks have given wonderful rally, and if you've been following my market outlook series, this positive reversal in the pharma sector was indicated by me multiple times during the months of January and December onwards, and now the rally has happened really wonderfully in the stock. The stock is already rallied 100%, and I was able to give a stock recommendation in Auropharma right at the bottom, as you can see in the pin. However, the mistake that I want to discuss with you also lies on the same chart, and that mistake was more execution oriented, right? So this multi-bagger return that was made in the Auropharma stock did not happen in one single shot. It was a journey of trial and error, right? So because of this fake RSI positive divergence, initially the positions were being made over here, right? As you can see, it was also a potential support zone. There was also a trend line support. One thing that was lacking was volume support. However, trusting solely the positive divergence and the trend line support, I went ahead and started accumulating positions in the range of 525 to 560 roughly, right? What happened here was I set the stop loss at the level of 504, which was a very good decision, right? So what happened then was the stock came down to trigger that stop loss. So the stop loss, so the position got exited, and soon enough, I witnessed the stop loss regret because the price started to go up. Now, here is the mistake. So this accumulation was fine. The stop loss trigger was also fine. Like I said, some losses are good trades, and this loss of around 8% was actually a good trade because I used objective trade setup. I let my stop loss get triggered and saved myself the further downside that was happening. The mistake I made was I let go of objectivity and let biases kick in. When did that happen? That happened simply when the stock gave a small bounce back soon after triggering my stop loss. Let me take you to that point. Okay, let's just go back to the daily time frame. It's easier. Okay, so see here on 26th of September, basically my position got exited, and then when the stock started to go back up, I re-entered the stock despite of the fact that the charts were not giving any positive indication, but just out of regret or revenge trading, I entered the position again on 24th of October and 2nd of October. One good thing that I did was that I did set a stop loss. However, I made another mistake before letting the stop loss get triggered. That is dollar cost averaging. So as you can see, there was a big downside with very high volumes. So this should have been my indication that the position needs to be exited and uh, no further capital should be allocated. But I ignored my objectivity and added more capital despite of the fact that high volume decline was happening. So as you can see by this green dot, more capital was added here, it was added again, it was added again until I finally allowed my stop loss to get triggered and that objectivity play a role. After a few days, I noticed a legitimate indication coming up on the chart, and this is when I finally gave a stock idea to the members active recommendation. And if you look at the big picture, this is exactly where the low happened. So there was a small dip following that, which was nothing but a stop loss hunting, and that was also expected because a support level lied right here. And this stock idea was actually given from a long term perspective with a 100% target. And as you can see, just recently the target has been achieved. However, from what I can sense, there is more upside still left. Now, what was the difference between this positive divergence and this positive divergence on the chart? There is a very clear indication of RSI range shift here. How? The RSI on the daily time frame here, as you can see, did not breach the level of 30, which is a good indication. In the previous time, RSI had indeed reached the level of 30, even though it gave the positive divergence. And usually when RSI breaches the level of 30, it is an indication that the correction is going to continue. That is exactly what happened here. So now having captured that bottom and delivered 100% returns as promised, the stock idea has been closed even before the time period was achieved, though, because the target was achieved. I feel the upside is still left and the stock can continue to rally to the level of 1030. Okay. All right. So that is what I had for you to discuss in this Let's Get Technical series. I hope the discussion was beneficial for you and you had some takeaways from the session. Um, there is a question from Mahesh Ji. He's asking, should one wait for the bar to complete in the time frame exit when price breaches the stop loss? Maheshji, that is not a good idea. You should set your stop losses automatically and allow them to get triggered without waiting for a bar close. Doing so can be very dangerous because the stop losses, especially the ones that I mentioned, are based on key support levels. And the breaching of these support levels are usually uh, followed by strong supply, which takes the price down significantly and very sharply. I will give you a demonstration of this. So Eicher Motor, if you just see my chart, so as you can see on the chart, this Eicher Motor was one of the active recommendations, and today this stock witnessed a strong downside. So to my members, today I in fact also ran a fun quiz on the Telegram channel, and everybody had great responses to give in. So I had basically shared a small screenshot and asked for few evidences which indicated that a bearish move or a weakening of a bull move was very evident on the Aisha Motor chart, and two winners actually got prizes um, because of their response. Now, on the chart of Aisha Motor, as you can see, as soon as the stop loss near the level of 339 was witnessed, a very high volume decline started in the stock, which took the stock below 3.5%. Now the thing is that if you wait for the candle to close and if you don't use automated stop losses, what can happen is that if you're not actively monitoring your position, you will end up losing unnecessary another 3-4% of points in the market. This is a very inefficient way of operating. I know a lot of people have complaints about stop losses, that stop loss triggers and then reverses. I also demonstrated that to you on the Auropharma chart right now, but that is okay. See, any tool that you go out to use, maybe stop loss, maybe anything else, there will be times when it will malfunction for you, when it will give you less than ideal results. That does not mean you should alter the rules of the tool or you should abandon it. Even while eating food, even while walking, we fall sometimes. While eating food, we sometimes end up biting our tongue, we sometimes end up biting our cheek, we might end up choking on the food temporarily, but we survive, right? And that is the point. We don't give up eating, we don't give up walking just because we tripped and fell sometime. Similarly, when using a useful tool like stop loss, stop giving in to the temptation of these procrastination or decision making when the stop loss needs to be exercised. If you will allow discretionary or decision making at the time of stop loss trigger, you will see yourself going back on your previous decision. That is not a very good way of behaving in the stock market. All right, let's now take a quick look at the comments. I see there are no relevant questions related to the session, so I'm going to end the session. However, since we have come to the end of the allocated time for this live, for those who have stock queries, I will request you join the Telegram channel and ask your queries there so that I can respond to you at my own time. Right now, I need to take off, and I want to thank you so much for giving me your time, your attention, and joining this live session. I will take off for now, and don't forget to follow my YouTube channel where I will be uploading the market outlook for the week, in which I discuss the Nifty outlook, the Bank Nifty outlook, the inter-sector analysis as well. Okay. For your help, what I will do is I will also share my YouTube channel link so you can connect with me, and if you are interested in watching the old videos, all you have to do is simply go to the recorded videos or the streams and look at the archive sessions on the YouTube channel. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in. I will see you again on next Tuesday with the next topic of retail traders session. Until then, namaste.